How has your recent experience of working with the School of Architecture affected how you think about the relationship between universities and local communities?
And working with the university, particularly the School of Architecture, has helped the Alfie project, and mainly by creating opportunities for partnerships. And so initially we were in the same space, we shared the space. However, through the Our City project, which was a project which, and we worked with Liveworks, and we ended up working with other departments in the university, such as iForge, and currently we're taking part in Festival of the Mind. So, in summary, I guess working with the School of Architecture, particularly Liveworks, has enabled those to meet with other members of the university and other academics and create wider partnerships and collaborate with them.
I think because I've had a few experiences of working with the School of Architecture as a client, and I think the most recent one has shifted my perceptions more strongly. That the role of community of universities can be to really help clarify ways forward in local communities and actually be a lot more embedded than I could have imagined. So I think that space that it creates, and that I think it actually creates a sense of just a sort of sharper thinking and action in the communities, because you're working with people who are maybe asking you questions in different ways. And you kind of feel important. I know that sounds really, but you enjoy being taken seriously by the university and the students, and you know that you're going to get a valuable exchange. So it's quite a demanding process, but I think that's why it's so fruitful. There's a really genuine exchange.
So what do you think, with your experience of those projects and collaborations, can be improved to create better relationships between the universities and local communities?
Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to say from the last project that much could be improved, because in some ways one of the things that was very powerful about it was how much time the students spent in the community. So I think maybe potentially for other projects, I don't know if that's always the case, but that physical presence and being in place, and when the sort of students realise the complexity of life and how tailored things need to be, I think as much of that as possible is really valuable. And I think a part of the project that really struck me as being useful was right at the very beginning, actually, when the university at Liveworks hosted all of the different community projects. So having that sense of understanding really very easily by being in the same room as all these community groups, understanding what their issues are and what they want to develop in the future, their challenges, I found that incredibly useful. And maybe a sort of a greater sense of that throughout the project. I know people's time is very time limited, but at the end, I know you do have a sharing where everybody can, hear what happened with the other community projects. Maybe that's just a question of actually making time to be there. But I think that's a real strength, that arch, that connecting between the communities across the city, and really, making the most of that. I've always sort of felt that that strategic role that the university can play on behalf of local communities is really, I don't know who else can do that in the city. I just feel that your knowledge over the last however many years is so strong of those different communities that your strategic role on behalf of communities could potentially be much stronger in the city.
I think there's an opportunity for the university to be a connector and in the wider community, and because, and for example, for a small social enterprise like ours, and if we had a project like Our City, which would benefit with working with an academic or need the resources that the university can offer, sometimes it can get very difficult to find the right person. So I think the role of a connector is an interesting one, because it allows a direct point of access to any part of the university or any person. I think that's really important.